When we imagine beautiful gardens, I think in our mind's eye we tend to picture flowers. Colourful, fragrant, exuberant. But there's a group of plants that often get forgotten about, and from a design perspective at least, they might be the most important plants in the garden. I'm talking about ornamental grasses. They're elegant, they bring movement, they tie areas together, and even at this time of the year, even in the dead of winter, when most plants are hiding beneath the soil, grasses are still doing their thing. I want to show you why ornamental grasses are so important if you want your garden to have a naturalistic feel, and I'm going to give you some recommendations of my favourite ornamental grasses for using in your own garden. So without human intervention, huge areas of Europe, of North America, of Asia will be covered by grassland. And this has been the case for about 20 million years or so, since the Earth's climate started cooling down and becoming drier. And not surprisingly, most plants don't like long periods of drought. But grasses, on the other hand, actually quite enjoy it because it kills off their competition. Grasses have these narrow, waxy and often rolled leaves that preserve water. They have big, deep root systems that can take water from deep in the soil profile. And if everything gets too much for the grasses, if everything becomes too dry, they can just die off and grow back next year. The fact that grassland covers so much of our landscape is probably why grasses feel so at home in our gardens. They tie areas of our garden together, and they connect our garden to the outside landscape. When we plant grasses, we are mimicking nature. We can mimic those species-rich grasslands that cover so much of the world, full of wildflowers, or we can mimic those grasslands on more nutritious soils that have less floral diversity, but tall, dense grass growth with amazing form and texture. So if your garden feels a bit disjointed, if it feels a bit disconnected with the outside world, you can't go far wrong by planting some ornamental grasses. So let's have a look at 5 of my favourite ornamental grasses at the moment. And bear in mind that if you ask me tomorrow, I'd probably tell you 5 different ornamental grasses. But let's begin by looking at Deschampsia cespitosa, tufted hairgrass. In the wild, it's found throughout cool temperate areas of Europe, Asia and North America. So it looks right at home in most gardens. It loves moisture-retentive soils because in the wild it grows in bogs, wet meadows along shorelines, and in damp woodland. Although to be honest, it's not that fussy and will take a bit of drought. When I use it in gardens, I normally plant it in slightly shady areas. It reaches around waist height, starts flowering in early to midsummer, and unless you get heavy snow, it will look good right into midwinter. Okay, Calamagrostis, brachytricha. It's Korean feather reedgrass. A bit of a mouthful, I know. But as its name suggests, Korean feather reedgrass, it's from Eastern Asia. And a bit like tufted hairgrass, it grows in moisture-retentive woodlands. So I tend to grow these 2 plants in similar, slightly shaded parts of the garden. But again, neither of these grasses are particularly fussy and will do well in full sun if the soil doesn't dry out too much. It reaches about hip height. It starts flowering later in the year, normally late summer, but it will look great right up until late winter when you cut it down. So Calamagrostis cross acutiflora Karl Foerster. I know it's the same genus as Calamagrostis brachytricha, but these plants are so different from each other, I'm showing you them separately. And by the way, if you find names like Calamagrostis cross acutiflora Karl Foerster a bit confusing, and you're not sure what I mean when I use terms like genus, species, subspecies, variety, form, cultivar, family, and so on, then you should check out my free online course on understanding and using botanical plant names. It's coming out really soon, so head over to gardeningmentor.co.uk and sign up to my email list so you can get free access to this course when it comes out. Anyway, back to the plant. Why is it so different? Well, it flowers in early summer, it's really tall, about head height, and it's cylindrical, not floppy. I especially love the yellow-orange stems in winter, but the flowers aren't bad either. Grow it on well-drained soils in full sun. It will love you for it. You will love it for it. You'll love each other for it. Japanese silvergrass, Miscanthus sinensis. Just an amazing plant. In my next video, I'm actually going to show you how to divide one of these. So if you haven't subscribed already, do, and you'll see that when it comes out. One thing I love about this species is how variable it is. Flowers and leaves can range from almost pure white right through to dark red, and while some cultivars barely reach waist height, others are truly gigantic. Plant it in full sun in a free draining soil. Alright, let's finish with silver spike grass, Acnanthemum. Is that right? Acnanthemum? It's a hard one. Steeper Calamagrostis, it changed its name. Acnanthemum. Is that right? Acnanthemum? It's a bit of a mouthful. Acnanthemum? I don't know. Steeper Calamagrostis. Anyway, it's a really good plant. Flowers in early summer, which is nice. About hip height, which is also nice. And looks lovely all the way through to midwinter, which is also nice. A word of warning, it can flop, but this is mostly a problem when grown in shady places, if the humidity is very high and if you get very warm nights. Give it a go, I love it, it's never flopped for me, but that could be because I grow it in a sort of a naturalistic style among other plants, which might help to support it. That's naturalistic planting and biomimicry. Alright then, I hope you've really enjoyed this video, and hopefully it's encouraged you to give ornamental grasses a go in your own garden, if you're not already. If you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe, but then head over to Gardening Mentor and join my email list, because then I can let you know when I release things like free courses, again, botanical plant names, coming out very soon. And I can just keep you up to date with loads of really good things gardening related. So do that. Alright, see you soon. Acnanthemum Calamagrostis. Acnanthemum? It changed its name. Or maybe it's changed its name from Steeper Calamagrostis. It gets confusing. Either name is fine.